Hey my dudes, hey my dudes, hey my dudes, hey my dudes. In this video I wanted to talk about, should you have a kid in your 20s or 30s? Should you have kids in your 20s or 30s? I think the real question is a lot of other things. For example, it depends a lot on your personality and the person you're raising the kids with. If you don't find anybody that you want to be in a relationship with, then obviously the question doesn't even matter. So if you're in a crappy relationship, then that's something to consider. There's so many variables. A lot of people are morbidly obese and they don't even take care of themselves. That's a bigger issue. A lot of people don't realize that. Some people want to have kids, some people don't. But a lot of times it's opinion. It's like if you look on Amazon reviews, you see some people say, "Oh, I love this product," and then other people say this product is shit and blah blah blah. The people that think the product is shit, either the product is legitimately shit, or they just don't know how to use the product, or they're just stupid. And then the people that like the product, maybe they just overlook the problems, and they're overly grateful for the product even though it has flaws, or they just don't know. They're ignorant. They don't even detect any problems, or they just don't experience it. Maybe they had a good batch of that given product. So you have two differing opinions about the same thing. And now when you think about 20s and 30s, again, like if you can't find anybody to have kids with, then obviously it's not a choice. A lot of people think of theoretical things like it's a choice. A lot of times, it takes two to tango, my dudes, and do that. So the question of this is, do you even have a choice in the matter? Or are you going to just magically conjure up somebody that you can have kids with that you actually like and love and want to be with? No. So it's that's a big one. That's a big one, my dudes. If you can't find anybody, then obviously, that's one thing that I've seen a lot with like men going their own way, or just men in general who act like it's a choice. They're like, "Oh, women are so terrible. I'm never going to have a serious relationship with women." That's a very specific personality and state of mind. That's just like your opinion, man. And but again, there's a lot of things to consider. I think the most plain thing is, okay, would you technically be better off being, single with no kids in your 20s and then wait until your 30s? The thing is, I think everybody should consider that. Would you rather be younger, when your kids are old? Do you want to be, in a retirement home by the time your kids graduate high school? Do you want to be able to, be young and youthful and be able to be physically active and participate? Then it's better that you're in your 20s when that happens. So, the longer you wait, the more old and decrepit you're going to be raising the kids. At a certain point, I think it's like 35 or something, men's quality of sperm goes down, and then women, their quality and the number of their eggs goes down. So a lot of people act like they have a choice, and they do, but the quality goes down at some point. And at some point, you go through menopause and you can't even have kids anymore. So 30s is kind of pushing it. That's, you gotta find somebody quick at that point, So a lot of people make fun of single moms and all this shit, or, stuff like that are, younger, like, "Oh, you fucked up, blah, 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 blah," now look at you, herder. But the thing is, you could be a single mom in your 30s. It doesn't matter. Again, people act like it's worse if it happens, or better if it happens at a given time frame. They correlate, "Oh, you were young and stupid." That's But, you have older women that are just as stupid, So, and again, like, I've seen so many people in their 20s and 30s going in and out of relationships, like a carousel. So the real question is, are you fat? Are you stupid? Are you miserable? These are factors to consider about why you would even think about these things. Like, oh, you're so stupid for having kids in your 20s. You didn't get to live. Oh, you're so stupid for having kids in your 30s because blah, 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 blah. You're going to be old when... I think the longer you wait, obviously, that's going to be bad. And you could say, oh, the earlier you do it, then, that's going to be bad too. Because then you miss out on, partying and all that shit. It really depends on the person. And it also depends on the opportunities and the people you meet and, your life and what you want out of life. So the real thing is, when it's subjective. It's subjective. You have a threshold, a little threshold of where, these things can take place. And it'll work. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine within this threshold. And that's in your 20s and 30s. And that's all you got. 20s and 30s. Little threshold of where it's optimum. And if you wait till the last minute, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta find somebody, or you do it, and then again, the main thing is, are you gonna, be with people you don't want to be with, and again, and then at the end of the day, there's a lot of variables, and people overthink about it and think about it too much, and blah 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 blah. There's a lot of scenarios that fall outside of that perfect, picket fence. A lot of people are going to have a bunch of bastard babies like the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. Yeah, boys. But again, it's subjective. Some people want to be single their whole life. And some people want to be married their whole life. And, some people need that. Some people don't. Some people regret it. They're like, gee, I wish, I actually settled down. And now, I'm old and nobody cares about me and I have no family. Or that, so you there could be a lot of scenarios. Where you change your mind, you wish, oh shit. So there's a lot of variables to consider. I think I'm a little ham.